Hey, it's Editor Matt here. So I just want to explain really quick. This is the first time I've ever used this new GoPro, and as I'm editing the video behind me, I realized that the microphone on it is very directional. So I apologize in advance. Anytime I'm directly in front of the camera, the audio sounds good. Anytime the camera's pointed away from me, unfortunately, it sounds pretty echoey, like I'm kind of on the other side of the room. So I apologize right now for the audio. Hopefully it still works well for you though. Hey gang, and welcome back to another episode. It's been a while since I've posted. I've had a little bit of work done on the face here. More on that in just a minute. But since the last time I did a video, we've had some pretty serious remodeling going on here. We had a dishwasher leak, which turned into a basically entire upstairs renovation. Part of that is flooring and laundry baskets. So we installed this vinyl plank flooring throughout the entire upstairs. But one thing we were left with was the actual stairs. And we're still painting down here, so don't judge. We had some nasty looking carpet on these stairs prior to the vinyl plank flooring that I have on here now, but I still have to do the lower level. So on today's episode, I'm going to show you how to turn these stairs into something like these stairs. Now, I've only said this 1,000 times, but I'm not a professional. I don't know if how I'm doing this works or if it's gonna last forever. I don't have a clue. But my flooring guy who did the upstairs kind of advised me on how to do these stairs because we weren't quite ready at the time. So I did this first flight here. They turned out pretty well, and now we're gonna do the second flight. So if you have any constructive criticism for me, maybe you are a professional flooring installer, let me know. I'm not gonna tell you I'm an expert because I'm not, but this worked for me, and this is how I'm gonna do it going forward. Also, there's a lot of dogs running around and cats, so if you hear them in the background, sorry about that, especially this little lady here. And finally, before we get going, today's episode is sponsored by, I don't know, skin cancer? Yeah, so look, if you have weird funky spots on your skin, here's a little PSA for you. Go get them checked out. Have a certified skin professional look at them because if they turn into skin cancer, it looks like this the longer you let it go. So sorry about the, I guess the great value Harry Potter scar here, but you know, it is what it is. I'm alive and kicking, so let's lay some flooring. Don't burn the house down. First things first, so on the stairs that I've already done, they look pretty good, right? Well, there's a little bit of a hack that I had to do because the nosing, which is this piece right here, doesn't quite cover the entire lip of the stairs. What do I mean by that? Well, let me show you. When my flooring guy did the rest of our vinyl flooring, he did all of the actual flooring. He told me, hey, look, this little piece right here, these stair treads are too thick. And to do it properly, you're gonna have to shave them down, which means remove all of these, put them through a planer and get them thinner. Why would I do that? Well, because this is the nosing, which goes over here, and it doesn't actually cover this entire lip. You're gonna see some wood underneath it once you have the vinyl plank flooring on top of this. Some of this is gonna show. So what I did is I painted it with a color that matches this. And once you get this on here, it looks like this. To the naked eye, when you walk up the stairs or when you get beneath them, you can't tell. It color matched pretty well, but if you do get close enough, you will see what I'm talking about right here. This is wood, and this is the nosing. But because they're painted the same color, when you come in the house, you go up the stairs, you don't even notice. So if you have a better way of doing this, let me know in the comments, but that's how I did it. So my prep work on this second flight was to paint the nosings here, that same color again. So I painted those, I let them dry, and obviously I painted the black along here as well. We're going to be painting this wall, and this wall, and that, and that. So a lot of painting to come, but this is just talking about the vinyl. So let's see what we're working with. So this is our rigid vinyl flooring. It's vinyl plank flooring. It's interlocking when you do the entire floor. It kind of snaps together. I get it. This is Menards brand. It might not be the best quality out there. My flooring guy was a little bit hesitant about it. He's like, well, I kind of mixed reviews on it, but look, it's what we could afford. It looks nice. They make it for a reason. So we're not rich, but this is what we're using today. Okay, so there's only a couple different things you have to do for this project, and it's very easy. If you have a saw, a couple of saws, I have a table saw and a chop saw, or even if you have a handheld razor blade, you can do this. There's about 3 parts that we're using here on the stairs, okay? So you've got the stair tread, which is this guy here. Right there, there's the stair tread. This is called the riser, and then the nosing. So we've got to install here on the tread. We've got to install back here on the riser. And then once those are on, we will secure the nosing. It'll look a little something like that. See, just like I drew it up. Now the cuts we're gonna have to make, obviously, this is the standard width of the vinyl plank flooring. It is too tall to fit here, and it's too short to fit here. So we're gonna have to cut down some of these this way as well as this way, so we can get them glued up under here. And then we're going to have to take this guy here and cut another little piece to fit right back here. Snap those together, glue them down. Nosing goes on there, bada bing, there you go. So let's get cutting and measuring. All right, so I'm gonna measure the treads first to make sure they're all uniform. So that guy is 10 inches, 10 inches, 10, 10, 10, 10. All right, so we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 treads. They're gonna be about 10 inches deep. They are about 38¼ inches long, side to side. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 treads, cut down to 38¼ inches. So that's gonna be our first cut. Apologize for the fan noise in the background. The garage heater just kicked on, but I have 6 of my vinyl plank pieces here. Yes, I know my garage is a mess, leave me alone. One thing to remember when you're cutting these vinyl tread pieces is on one end of them, there is a lip right here so that they can lock together when you're putting them on a floor. But you want to cut this lip off, because if you're putting this on your stairs, you don't want this lip to be showing. It would look really ugly. So make sure this is the end you cut off. So I have my carpenter square here lined up on the end. We said that bad boy is 38¼ so we're gonna mark right there. And we're gonna flip the square around. All right, so we're gonna take the mark we have there, put the carpet level this way, carpet square, I mean. Draw that line. Then we just have to make sure that all these pieces are very flush with each other before we make our cut. So I'm gonna shut the camera off so I can line these up nice and flush, and then we'll make the cut. All right, folks, keep your fingers clear, keep your safety glasses and your ear protection on. Boom. And look at there. 38¼ Okay, so we've got the main treads cut. They fit. It's almost like we knew what we're doing. So now what I did is I scooted it towards the very end of the tread here, and now we have to look to see the gap we have left. That's about 2½ inches. Maybe a shade below 2½ inches. So that's gonna be important. So we need 6 thinner pieces, shade under 2½ inches wide. So let's go cut those. So we're at the table saw, we're gonna release that. We set this guy to about 2½ inches, a little less, 2½ inches. It's okay if it's a little short because the nosing's gonna cover it up. It just can't be too long. So we'll go a shade under 2½ inches. Lock that baby in place, get ready to cut. So these boards are 7½ inches wide. So if you're doing the math and we're going a little bit under 2½ inches, we can get 3 strips per board. But we obviously need to cut them down to size first because they're too long. So what I did is I took one of my existing planks, set it on top of here, just so I can cheat, line up my blade this way, so that I know they're the exact same length. So we've got this lined up. Let's make our cut. We've got 2 planks down here, so we should be able to get our 6 little mini strips out of that. All right, now that we've got our boards trimmed down to size, we can bring them back over the table saw here and cut them to our appropriate width. So here we go. Now that we have our smaller strips to complement the bigger strips, you're gonna notice that 2 of them have the lip right here, 2 of them have the lip right here, and 2 of them don't have a lip at all. Obviously, these are meant to be interlocked together. So if they have the lip like this, I'm just gonna make sure that I lock it in appropriately on the bigger boards. And if they have the lip looking like this, I'll do the same thing. And if they don't, then I'll just kind of nestle them together. So we're gonna dry fit them on the stairs here to make sure they fit. Okay, so we've got all these dry fit on the stairs here. Looks like they're matching up really nicely. Creases look good between the bigger piece and the smaller piece. So now we're gonna glue them down. Make sure that you use some sort of premium construction adhesive. I like this one, but double check that it works on vinyl. There's a lot of these that say it will not work on vinyl. This one works on wood, drywall, brick, blah, 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 PVC, and vinyl, which obviously these are vinyl, and we're gluing them to wood, so make sure you have something that works for both. So we're going to pop these treads up. We're gonna lay a nice bit of glue on there, and then we're gonna tap them back down. So we have all the treads glued down. Now is a very good time to tell people not to walk on the stairs, because even if you're gentle and you happen to push off these, you're very likely to make the tread kind of slide back and forth. So make sure it's stationary in one spot. What I like to do is take my air nailer and I'm gonna drive one little nail right here kind of on the edge that will be covered up by the nosing. So I'll put one over here, I'll put one over here. That will prevent these from sliding backwards in the event somebody does walk on them until the glue dries. And obviously putting the nosing over it will hide them. Also, if you have these joints that don't have the lips that actually click together, this is one joint where they just butt up against each other. Put some tape on it. That'll prevent them from kind of sliding apart if people happen to walk on this, or if it does any sort of settling. So a couple of nails on each one of these boards, and we're gonna move back onto the risers here. Okay, so we've got all the, you hear who I'm working with up there? It's a problem. Say hi, ladies.
Hello.
Ugh. Take 2. Okay, so we've got the treads on, they're all nailed down. Now we're moving on to the risers. So these are about 5.5 inches from the tread to the top of here, give or take. And if you remember, we're still 38.25 inches long. So we're gonna go cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those, and that top one's gonna be a special one because it's a little bit longer. Here we go. So I cut all of the riser boards and I kind of test fit them to make sure each one of them fits, except for that top one. That'll be a separate cut because it's a little bit wider. But they are all ready to go. Now it's just more of the same. We're gonna glue these, we're gonna press them up against there, and they're gonna stay in place. Let's get to gluing again. Okay, so we've got the risers all glued on. The only thing we have left is the nosing. Now, if you remember, our measurement for all of these has been 38.25 inches. So all of our nosings will need to be cut to 38.25 inches also. Line up right there. Back out to the garage, let's do our final cuts. Except for that top nosing. That one will be a little bit longer.
He's lying.
I'm really not. The nosing comes in these big old 8-foot strips. So we'll cut 2 out of each strip, and then we'll have a little bit left over. Okay, so I got all the nosings cut using the chop saw. What we're gonna do is put a nice big bead of glue right here on the front lip. And then we're gonna set these guys down on here just like so. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a couple pieces of painter's tape to wrap around here to keep these in place while they dry. Otherwise, it's pretty easy to kick off for anybody going up and down the stairs. So, last little bit, here we go. Okay, nosings are on and they are all taped up. We're gonna give it about 24 hours or so, come back and take the tape off, that's it. So we'll kick back here in about a day. I'll show you the final result. All right, so here we are. It is the next day, and we get to do the extremely satisfying task of taking off the blue painter's tape and finalizing the stairs. So let's get the tape off. Let's finish her up. That's all she wrote, folks. Stairs are done. Nice and solid. You can walk on them, which is good because, you know, they're stairs. And like I was talking about with seeing the underside of the wood, you can barely see it here, but even looking at it, you can't notice. You can't tell that it's wood because it's the same color. So I like that. So that is it for this video. Hopefully you found it helpful, especially if you're gonna be doing your stairs and you want them to turn out like that. But if you have any other home improvement projects coming up, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm gonna be doing several more videos here in the very near future as I swap out light switch covers, or light switches, electrical switches, stuff like that. So hit subscribe, give me a thumbs up. If you happen to be a professional flooring installer, how'd I do? I love some critiques or maybe some constructive criticism, but go easy on me because I don't do this stuff for a living. And finally, I've got a couple of new series coming up that I'm gonna start on the channel revolving around some tech products. So please, again, hit subscribe and stay tuned for all the fun stuff we have coming up. So that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.